Shores Prepping. I'm your host, Greg. I want you to imagine something, and this is all just theory so far, but it is being talked about for real. With the climate change agenda 2030 and that idiot John Kerry, the traitor, and the mail order president, they're all scheming and conniving on how they can force us into compliance. And that's what it is, force. But imagine this, and this is being talked about for real, but the cities will be imaginary. Imagine the blackouts, brownouts start happening across this country as planned, as planned. And the government agency says, you know what, Cleveland, you're in the black right now, but your climate credit score is good. You've reached your goals of electric cars. You've reached your goals for electric commuter. You've reached your goals for cutting water consumption. So we're going to give you enough power for a few days to keep you lit up and your air conditioning running in the 100-degree temperature. And this is all across the country. You have a board of unelected bureaucrats, climate control people, monitoring the gases, the carbon emissions, and what cities are hitting their mandated goals to be in compliance will get the power, will get the water, will get the energy, will get the food. And then other cities, well, you know what, Vermilion, you didn't reach your goals, you're not even trying, and we don't have enough power to send to you. You have enough to keep the hospital going, but that's about it. The rest of you, you're on your own until you learn solar power, wind power, hydrogen. You're on the lake, you should be generating your own natural clean energy. So get with the program or be in the dark. That's what's happening, folks. That's what they're contemplating right now, all across this nation. They've created a crisis to force us into compliance. And sooner or later, it's going to come to a head. People are awake now and waking up all the time. And they're saying, no, we don't want your agenda. We reject it out of hand. But there are enough people that are wanting to be in the New World Order saying, you're going to do it. And pretty soon we're going to be in a shoving match. Pretty soon we'll be in a shouting match. And next thing you know, we'll be saying, my gun's bigger than your gun. And the other side's going to say, we have the same guns, but a lot more of them. You're going to be forced into compliance, or you're going to be fighting. And when the blackouts happen, and ugly people do ugly things to other people, it's going to escalate even more. We've already been promised a summer of rage should the ruling Roe v. Wade be supposedly overturned. It's not. It's just turned back to the states. But they're saying we're gonna burn it down. But what if it's your city? And you're saying, no, you're not going to burn down my business that I've worked to build up, that I went through COVID and suffered the lockdowns. We're not doing that again. Are you willing to fight for your city, for your town, for your neighborhood? You're going to have to, or you're going to be in compliance and say, yeah, I got an electric car. Yeah, I got solar panels. Yeah, I got wind turbines. Yeah, I only drink a gallon of water a day and I don't use 55 gallons, a day. I'm suffering, but I'll make do for the good of the world. Yeah, I'm quadruple shotted up and I'm in compliance with that. Yeah, you could teach my kids any perverted thing you want in school because that's the way it's going to be. And I don't want to, cause waves. I want to be in compliance so I get the food, so I get the power, so I get my Social Security. That's where we're headed. And they don't care. The mail order president has said the MAGA crowd is a direct threat to our democracy. He just insulted over 50% of the United States when he claimed he was going to be the great uniter. You can't talk out both sides of your mouth and make sense. He's not. His actions say completely different. Everything in this administration is a lie. When they say we are going to go ahead with a Green New Deal, that's the truth. When they say, oh, we're going to go over to Saudi Arabia and beg for more oil, what's wrong with our oil? What's wrong with our propane? There's absolutely nothing. But they're willing to pay a higher price to continue to bankrupt this country and to say, okay, we're broke. The dollar's worthless, but the government has what you need. We will give you food because you didn't grow your own or enough of it. We will give you food because you're not practicing sustainable living. We were giving you food because you're a sheeple and you didn't believe it until now you have to stand in line and be in compliance. You have to have mandated shots. You have to have mandated, Green New Deal cars, houses, whatever it is. Whatever they want to force us into, you're going to have to be compliant. And for those of us that say, no mas, we're not doing that no more. We're done. It's going to come down to, what are you going to do? Who is the actual enemy that you're going to fight? Chances are it'll be the person up the road that ran over your Trump sign in your yard, burned it, torched it, berated you, belittled you, turned you in because you weren't shot compliance to the vaccine trackers. These are the people that will be on the front line throwing stones through your window and saying hoarder because you're a prepper. Give me his food. You think it's imaginary? It's not. When the power goes out, you'll see how bad it gets real quick. And the government's going to be controlling that power. This is the stuff nightmares are made of. This is the stuff that causes revolutions. I guarantee you Kamala Harris is saying, you know what? I was this close when the mail order president fell off his bicycle to ascending to the throne. I wonder how I can get him to ride a moped and increase his speed a little bit more. That's joking, of course. But I'm sure that thought went through her head, as did the world. We were this close to having the cackling hen as a president of the United States. That's a nightmare scenario in itself. But they are forcing us into climate change because that's the New World Agenda. They're forcing us into a conflict through censorship and through gun control and through red flag laws. And I was so glad of the Texas people booing that traitor Cornyn off stage when he went to speak at the Freedom Rally. He was booed off stage. And good for those people in Texas. I hope he's thrown out of office, all these traitors. South Carolina, Lindsey Graham takes the stage, you boo him right off. North Carolina, Tom Tillis. Ohio, Portman. Any of these other rhinos, get rid of them. Cheney can't even show her face in Wyoming anymore. She's that low. And you have a mail order president with a 39% approval rating. You think he's going to back down from his climate agenda now? No. So get ready. Make your mind up what side of the road you're going to be on. You're going to be forced into it. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Welcome to the new subscribers. As always, get yourself right with God. Get baptized, submerged in water. That's a priority. In the name of Jesus Christ. Greg out.